Project 3, Journeys, Explorers, and Maps. Introduction. 500 years ago, maps were mysterious. Some showed dragons, others depicted the edges of the world falling into the void. Sailors didn't know if they would return alive or if they would find new lands. Thanks to the exchange of knowledge, improvements in the compass, the astrolabe, and new ideas about the world, the great voyages began. European explorers set out in search of routes to Asia, but instead arrived in the Americas. With them came modern maps, globes, and new questions about how big the planet really was. This project is an invitation to explore the world through maps and to reflect on how these journeys changed history. You'll also discover how ancient navigators found their way and how to create your own maps. Main Reading. A map up his sleeve. Martin was an apprentice in the map workshop of an old cartographer in Seville. While ships sailed off to the far side of the ocean, he carefully copied lines, mountains, and sea monsters. "Master, how do we know what lies beyond?" "We don't, Martin," the old man replied. "That's why we draw. Every map is an attempt to imagine the world." Martin dreamed of traveling and drawing what he saw. One day, hidden among barrels, he boarded a ship bound for the unknown. Exploration. What was the world like before and after the great voyages? Topics to discuss. What was the world like before the great geographic discoveries? Trade routes between Europe, Africa, and Asia. Famous explorers: Marco Polo, Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Magellan, Hernán Cortés, Vasco da Gama. Early representations of the world, ancient maps, and portolan charts. What role did technology play? Compass, astrolabe, sextant. Impact of the voyages, cultural encounters, trade, exchange of food and diseases. Language, arts, and literature. Reading adapted travel chronicles. Marco Polo, Columbus. Creative writing. Fictional diary of a young navigator or cartographer. Informational reading. Texts about ancient maps and discoveries. Text analysis. How does the narrator's point of view influence a travel chronicle? Oral presentation. Tell an invented travel story using a hand-drawn map. Science and technology. Navigation tools. What is an astrolabe? How do you use a compass? Finding direction using the sun and stars? Build a homemade compass using a magnetized needle, cork, and water. Hemispheres and time zones. How do seasons and time change around the world? Sky observation. Why do the stars look different depending on your location? Math and maps. Scale and proportion. How do we convert real distances into maps? Reading coordinates, latitude, longitude, and global positioning. Route planning. Calculate the distance between cities on a map. Travel time problem. If a ship travels at 15 kilometers and the trip is 1500 km, how long will the journey take? Art and geography. Creative cartography. Draw an invented map with symbols and legends. Old map workshop. Create your own age-looking map using coffee or tea-stained paper. College of landscapes from world regions explored by navigators. Design a compass rose with decorative elements and directions. Experiments and hands. On activities. Build a homemade compass. Draw a map of your classroom or neighborhood, marking key locations. Use the sun to determine cardinal directions in a field or backyard. Evaluation. Assessment criteria. Explains the importance of exploration and its consequences. Identifies key navigation tools, compass, compass rose, coordinates. Creates a hand-drawn map with scale, symbols, and a legend. Writes and presents a fictional travel journal. Participates in debates about the impact of colonization. Final project product. Explorer's logbook including invented travel diary, hand-drawn map, compass rose, summary of a real explorer, compass experiment, reflection on how we see the world today,